All right, before we start, I'm lighting. Ow. Oh, don't judge me and how I light candles. I'm lighting a candle to get rid of all the bad juju that is now surrounding this team. It's gonna be lit the entire time. Might be a mainstay in case things go bad. Hello, well, things are already bad. Hello, welcome back to .net. Dude, this sweatshirt makes me look ridiculous. Looks like I'm wearing shoulder pads. Any Hoosers. Not a lot of good to talk about, if any. What an absolute embarrassing series that the Phillies just wrapped up with the Dodgers. Some of the worst pitching I've seen out of a pitching staff. Some of the worst defense. Base running was bad. They got deked a ton of times by the Dodgers, completely outplayed by them. And now what's left? You got your pants pulled down. You got pantsed in front of the hot girl in high school in this series. And it's what is left to say? You were beat on every level. You showed no heart. You got stomped over twice. And your best reliever gave up 2 runs in the third game to give the Dodgers the win and the sweep. This was a series that hopefully wakes the Phillies up. You've been coasting to this point, and you got embarrassed on a big stage, and it's unbelievable. It's a series where I thought you could squeak out one game. It looked like it was going to be today when you're up 5-0 with your supposed ace on the mound, and you lose that game 6-5. That is embarrassing. That is unacceptable. That is ridiculous. I'm at a loss for words. Quite frankly, this series was hell to watch. It was brutal. It was not fun. There was no good spot. There was no positives to take away from this week. The only positive is that it's over, and you need to right the ship quickly, because I hate to say it, but you're going to start to drown soon. And I'm just so upset with this team right now. But let's get into it. We're gonna start with headlines. The big one is Bryce Harper returned to the lineup 160 odd days after having Tommy John surgery, which is very unprecedented in baseball. It's the quickest recovery from Tommy John surgery in baseball history. He looked lost at the plate last night, looked really good today. And I kind of expected him to be bad coming back. If you look in Bryce Harper's career, I'm sorry, I heard stuff upstairs. If you look in Bryce Harper's career, statistically, he's bad the first month when he comes back from injury, and then he figures it out. And it's going to be the same thing here. And everybody's going to go, oh, well, they brought him back too soon, and they should have stayed out until the All-Star break. Shut up. Shut up. I don't want to hear it, okay? Bryce Harper would not have been medically cleared if he was not medically ready to play baseball. We knew this date was a possibility. He's back. He sucked last night, was great today, had 2 hits today and 2 walks. The game is still going on technically. I did it again because I was just so disgusted with this team. That Bryce Harper came back in response to that. I'm all over the place right now with this, but Jake Cave was sent to AAA as a responding move. Christian Pache had successful surgery. He's only going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, which is a lot. less than I thought it was going to be. I really thought this might have been a season-ending injury for Christian, but luckily he's only out 4 to 6 weeks, so we'll see him in action in July, probably would be my guess is the next time we see Christian Pache. So that's good. And in other positive news, Ranger Suarez is due for a rehab assignment in Lehigh Valley on Sunday. The goal is 70-75 pitches. And if all goes well, he might be back the next go-around in the rotation, which is huge, 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 huge in a rotation that has been struggling mightily from one of their starters. Oh, the Phillies tied it up! Holy crap! Never a doubt, Karen. Never a doubt. A little hitting it. Hitting the panic button there. Never a doubt. There's still some bad. I can't wait for this ball to go up. Ranger Suarez is back. Hopefully he's coming back. Oh god, now I'm all over the place. Now the Phillies just tied it up. I preemptively started recording because you know how this Phillies team is. All right, let's just get into it. Game 1, they lost 13-4, which sucked, especially when you wait 10 until 10 o'clock at night. Now this whole beginning of the podcast is going to be thrown off because I'm an idiot and decided to start going sooner. You know what I might do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop this. And then I'm going to pick up when the game ends, and then we'll get into all the games. So enjoy that first little segment there. I'm going to go for now. It's going to be like a half a second for you guys, but it's going to be however long this game takes. I will see you right now. You almost got me, Phillies. You almost had me, man. Oh, you were this close. You were this close from getting me back in. Oh, man. Not only did they lose, you got kicked in the balls, dude. Oh, okay. All right. Let's just let's get back into it. Phillies got swept officially now. That sucked. So first game, everything started out great. Taijuan Walker was touching 95, and you're like, all right, nice. The forearm's not bugging him anymore. Like, all right, he's going to dial in now. And then Will Smith hit a solo home run. And you're like, okay, pitchers give up home runs. That sometimes it was a hanging curve, whatever. And then it just got worse. Did not get better. He gave up a 3-run home run to Peralta. Jason Hayward, the walking corpse, hit a solo home run. But hey, Schwarbo, solo home run. Literally a little dinker over the right field wall. Shout out to Kyle Schwarber, and then you just had Freeman, Will Smith, all with RBIs. Mookie Betts, officially a Philly killer. I'm pretty sure he's always been a Philly killer, but especially in Dodger blue. So not great. The Castellanos and Bohm both had RBIs to make it, a little bit competitive. And then David Peralta again with another RBI in the 8th. Just awful. Terrible. And I'm so glad, because part of me was saying, I'm kind of not glad they lost, obviously, but I'm glad I had a whole thing planned that if they won and whatever, it didn't happen because Craig Kimbrell sucks. Anyway, game 1 was just brutal. Taijuan Walker, his ERA is almost at 7. And I'm willing. I want to just send him to the IL to figure it out, like a Phantom IL, have Michael Plasmeyer come up, or have, I don't know, you can keep Matt Strahm in the rotation and once Ranger gets back, because I can't take another Taijuan Walker start. Taijuan Walker has been nothing but awful in a Phillies uniform. I think he's had one good outing. That's it. I don't know how you're paying this guy this much money and he's giving you a 7 ERA. It doesn't make any sense. I guess his walks are down. Cool. Like, I don't know. I don't know what Taijuan Walker's deal is. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know. But if I'm the Phillies, I'm sending him on the 15-day IL, making him skip his next start or two, figure it out, have Ranger, and I know you have 3 lefties in the rotation at that point, but I'm willing to take a gamble with Matt Strahm, who's been pretty solid, over Taijuan Walker, who has been unpitchable out there. And he's costing the Phillies games, not only because he's not going deep, but because he's not going deep, he's taxing the bullpen. And then the next guy who's up, which is usually Strahm or Falter or whomever, has to be like, okay, I need to go 5, 6, 7 innings because the bullpen was just used for 5 innings last night. Taijuan Walker is giving you nothing of production. Maybe one outing, even then. Like, what are we doing with this guy? I can't take it. And, like, I love the signing when we signed him, but he's been terrible. Flat out terrible. I'd rather have Kyle Gibson in July right now. And we all remember how bad Kyle Gibson in July was. I don't get it. I really don't understand. Andrew Vasquez. I'd rather see Andrew Vasquez pitch and start. He went an inning and 2/3, 2 hits, an earned run. Everybody gave up an earned run. Actually, Junior Marte, of all people, well, he gave up like 4 in game 2, but in this game he didn't. Kimbrel gave up 2 earned, and Ortiz gave up 2 earned, and then Cody Clemens, arguably better than his father because one of them pitches and hits. So, Shohei, you better watch out, bud, because Cody Clemens is coming for you. There's not a lot of positivity to take out of this series other than Bryce having 3 hits today. That's about the only form of positivity, I guess. Every game was brutal in their own way. This Phillies team gave up 36 earned runs in 3 games. That is unacceptable. That is ridiculous. And now you need to sweep the Boston series for me to take you serious, a feat that I think they can do. But this Boston team is pretty good, is pretty underrated. Their pitching, yes, is not great, but their offense is. And we'll get to Boston. I'm just so this is emotions. Game 2, more of the same, 13-1. Bryce Harper came back. The title of the episode is probably going to be at least Bryce Harper's back because there is no positivity here. It was embarrassing. Every single game was embarrassing. You either got blown out in games 1 and 2, and then you blow a 5-0 lead in game 3. And not only that, you'll lose on a grand slam because you had to put Craig Kimbrel in that situation because Sosa couldn't make a play at third. Anyway, Max Muncy killed us, had a sac fly. Mookie Betts had an RBI. Trey Turner finally hit an extra base hit. Didn't know that was allowed. And then just Chris Taylor, Mookie Betts killed us. Miguel Vargas killed us. Freddie Freeman, of course, killed us. Harper in his first game back went 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. I mentioned that in the beginning. He's not going to be good for a little while, so easy now. Bryce it's going to be a little while before we see Bryce, or maybe not. Again, he had 3 hits today, so maybe it won't be. Then you had Cody Clemens again pitching. Coming for you, Roger. But in terms of pitching, Matt Strahm went 3 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. He got hit around, and you could see he was mad at himself. And that's why I love Matt Strahm so much, is because he is a guy who's just going to be mad at himself because he was walking off these like 75 effing pitches and blah blah, and he's talking to himself and he's like saying get the ball down when he's on the mound. It just sucked. Everything sucked. It was not fun. Connor Brogdon, who has been he's been pretty good in multi-inning roles, which I didn't think he was going to, because everybody knows I'm not the biggest Connor Brogdon fan, but he looked pretty good, struck out 3 in an inning and 2/3, gave up 2 hits, like pretty good. He's kind of taking on the Andrew Bellotti role in sense of multiple innings to make up if a starter gets pulled early. So it's good to see that. I hope Brogdon doesn't have the same outcome as Bellotti did, facing that injury, because, turns out using a guy 18 times in 21 days is not a great idea. Sir Anthony had a clean inning, and then Soto went 2/3 of an innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk, and a strikeout. These were the first earned runs that Gregory Soto has given up since the Texas series, the beginning of the year. He's been really good. So one of these was bound to happen, one of these blow-up appearances. I'm not reading into it too much. I think this off day coming tomorrow is very, very big for this team to kind of reset, to kind of go take a deep breath. We have a day off. This was hell. You come into this Boston series losing 4 straight. You need to reset. You need to realize that you just got, like I said beforehand, because this is going to be 2 separate clips fused together. I said you got pantsed at the prom. Well, I didn't say this exactly, but practically, you got pantsed at prom in front of all the popular girls. And you are just red in the face right now, trying to scramble and figure out your identity, which I thought we figured out. And I'm not letting 1 3-game series that was terrible dictate the direction of this team, because they've been playing outstanding baseball for the past 2.5 weeks up until this point. And even the game they lost in Houston, that last game, was still a really good game. Like, they fought back. They were trying. They felt like at any given point they could get a run across. And this series was non-contested the entire time. And you need to look in yourself and go, are we one of the best teams in the National League? Yeah, we're defending National League champions, but that was last year. What are you this year? And they haven't shown a lot to be desired. They have a lot to be desired with this team right now. But I think having Bryce back is going to be big. I think having Ranger coming back is going to be big. I honestly think Taijuan Walker needs to hit the shelf for a couple weeks, because I don't know what's going on with him. It's not injury, because his velocity was up more so in years past than in starts past. So I don't know. I don't get it. And then Junior Marte did what he does best and gives up 4 runs. And then Clemens gave up a run. And just, it's hard to win baseball games when you give up 26 runs in 2 games. And then we get to the biggest gut punch of them all. This game number 3. Phillies lost 10-6. You had me. You nearly had me, Philly. You had Stott with a sac fly in the first. Harper had his first hit of the year, which was a double, which was great to see. Harper swang the hell out of the bat today. Looked really, really comfortable at the plate against the Dodgers bullpen. And Dodger starter was making his major league debut, but I'm glad to see he wasn't outmatched. And then you're going up against Dodger relievers, who every guy I feel like out of that bullpen is throwing 100 with sink. And it's just not fair. And he mustered up 2 hits against the relievers. It was just great to see Bryce doing Bryce Harper things again. And then Castellanos had an RBI double. Bohm and Sosa both had RBI singles in the third. And then Garrett Stubbs, the GOAT, had an RBI sac bunt also in the third to make it 5-0. And now you think the Phillies are just going to cruise to victory. It's a getaway day. Everything's fine. Like, don't have to worry. Nola's cruising. Betts had an RBI single in the third because Aaron Nola just can't make games easy when he gets a big lead. Then you had Miguel Vargas hit a 2-run home run. And then it's just bloop hit by Chris Taylor. And then Freddie Freeman had a sac fly in the 7th. And then we get to the 8th inning. Rob Thompson brings in Jose Alvarado, which I understand. You have 3 lefties coming up in the inning, and I completely understand the move to go to Alvarado in this situation because he's been your best reliever all year, and almost for a full calendar year, he has been your best reliever. So you recount that inning. Chris Taylor again leads off with a single. Or no, that was in the 9th inning. The 8th inning starts with a single through the hole. And then Outman hits a little dinky down the line. So it's 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And then you're like, great. Where's it 1 out? So either second, whatever. Jose Alvarado gets an out, which was, yes, it was 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. I forget who hit the grounder to Turner. Turner throws out Miguel Rojas at home. 1 out. Okay, we're right there. 1 out. And then a play that, Edmundo, or a play that Edmundo Sosa has to make. Did he get 2 outs in the? I'm still reeling in from what just transpired like 10 minutes ago because it was brutal. Let's see. Oh, by the way, Craig Kimbrell's ERA is up to 8.25, in case anybody was wondering. So, yeah, when your bullpen gives up 7 runs, not good at all. So let me see the summary of this 8th inning, because boy, golly gee, was it brutal to watch. All right, 8th inning comes around. So we have Max Muncy pops out, 1 away. Miguel Rojas, the premier Philly killer, hits a single. James Outman, who, again, Dodgers just pump these guys out. Never heard of this guy. Has a double, gets through 2nd and 3rd. Then you have the throw out with Miguel Vargas hits as a single, or hits the ground ball to Turner. You get the throw out at home. And then Austin Barnes came into this game hitting 0.85. 0.085. Okay? Seems like an easy out against the guy who has been one of, if not the best reliever in baseball for nearly a calendar year. Easy out. Hits a bullet that Sosa, you have to make that play. Just misplayed it through the hole, and then 2-run score, 6-5. And that's when I came down and started recording, because I'm like, if I know this baseball team like I think I do, that no shot they're coming back. And then that's how the beginning of this podcast started. I'm leaving everything in the beginning in, because originally what I was going to do was, if the Phillies won, just cut out the part where I was talking about whatever, and then they tied the game. I heard it upstairs, and then my mom came in and put that at the beginning, and then record everything else after. But since they lost, I'm just going to keep it all in. And then we get to the 9th, and then Bryce Harper singled, Castellanos walked, and then Stott had an RBI single to tie it. And we're like, let's go. Scott. Bryson Stott is him. And then the 9th inning was just an absolute disaster, because you have to put Craig Kimbrell in, I guess. And he gives up Chris Taylor singles, then he steals. Mookie Betts strikes out on a dotted fastball. You then intentionally walk Freddie Freeman. You then walk whoever the next batter was. It was Will Smith. You walk Will Smith. You get to Max Muncy. Okay, we're ground ball away from getting out of this. First pitch And my brother Connor looked at me and goes, dude, if he hits a grand slam, I'm going to lose it. And I said, yeah, me too. First pitch, grand slam, Max Muncy walks it off. Dodgers win 10-6. Ah! Just heartbreaking. And again, hard to win games when your pitching staff gives up 36 runs in 3 games. I'm no mathematician, but that's 12 runs a game, average 12 runs a game. You're giving up. It's hard to win games when you're giving that much up, you know? Just a messy series, just a messy, a series that I want to forget forever. You know, I want to forget that this series ever happened. I get that teams get swept and they lose in brutal fashion, and this is just a part of the game, but it doesn't make it hurt that much less. And it was just embarrassing. The best word I can use to describe this outing by the Phillies is just flat out embarrassing. I touched on it in the beginning. I'm touching on it now. There was almost no positives to take away from it. None. You're pitching, you have a 5-0 lead with your ace on the mound, and you blow it. Not only blow it, your bullpen, which has been lights out for 2 weeks, you get to LA and you forget how to pitch. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, prior to the 7 runs, they gave up 14. At 21 earned runs by the bullpen in this series. Unacceptable. And it's not like you were throwing out Junior Marte the entire time, or Andrew Vasquez, or Luis Ortiz in every series. They were getting to your guys. They got to Alvarado. They got to Kimbrel. They got to Soto. They didn't get to Sir Anthony, though, right? No, didn't get to Sir Anthony. Thank God. But water finds its level eventually, and I know in 2 weeks we're not going to remember this series, and God, I really hope we don't. But it's just brutal. It was brutal to watch. It was brutal to sit through that. And now I have to listen to a lot of baseball podcasts and a lot of baseball stuff everywhere. I now have to listen to how, are the Phillies that bad? No, they just caught a juggernaut who is hot right now, who are clicking. And I thought we were clicking too, but apparently not that much. But again, it's May 3rd. We're going to be fine. Yes, this sucked. We need to figure it out soon. We need to figure it out soon, please. Thank you. Before I have a mental breakdown. Okay? So, Phillies have off tomorrow, thank Christ, because sweet mother of God, they need it after this series. Then you have the Boston Red Sox coming into town. Yippee. Pitching matchups. You have Zach Wheeler going up against Chris Sale. And I know what you're thinking. Chris Sale, he's a dog, yes, but he's not the same Chris Sale as he was in years past. But he is still Chris Sale, which means he's going to shove against us. I expect a lot of righties in the lineup. You know, you're probably going to have lefties. Are probably going to be Schwarber and Harper. I would imagine Guthrie will probably start in center over Marsh. I don't know. Zach Wheeler looked really, really good in his last start, so he's looking to build on that. And you know, Nola, to come back to today's game, Nola went 6 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. One of the runs was inherited by Dominguez on a sac fly. No walks and 5 strikeouts. He's been really good the past few outings. Like, he's finally starting to, I guess, figure out his stuff. I heard on WIP they were saying that his velocity's down and he's trying to work on his new arsenal, not being able to throw 96 up in the zone and trying to figure that out. So it seemingly looks like Nola's figured something out, which is huge for this team, especially if you're going to roll out Taijuan Walker every fifth day, who sucks, especially if you're going to roll out, okay. Nola looked better, which is very, very about the beeping again, which was good, which is very good. Bailey Falter versus Corey Kluber. That should be a slugfest for both teams. And then the rubber match. You have Taijuan Walker going up against Tanner Houck. You need to win this series. I'm not one to say you need to win a series in May. You need to win this series for this fan base not to turn on you this soon after what you just pulled in LA. Okay? So win the series in Boston. It's as straightforward as that. And that's it. You need to win the series against Boston no matter what. I think 2 of 3 isn't completely out of the question. I wouldn't be shocked if Taijuan Walker does not make this start. I hope he doesn't, because chalk it up to a loss already. That's how bad he's been. I feel like I could go out there and throw better innings than him. I would rather see Cody Clemens out on the mound than to watch another Taijuan Walker start. And it's a shame too. I had a lot of high hopes for Taijuan Walker when we signed him, and it's been nothing but disappointment. And it sucks. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed this very positive episode of .net Phillies, but it's hard to be positive when there's nothing positive to talk about. So I'm going to be back on Sunday. I will be back Sunday to talk about the Phillies sweep of the Boston Red Sox, talking it into existence. But thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you follow all socials below: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, all that stuff. And I will see you guys on Sunday.